into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, won't you let the light shine through. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening everybody, and welcome to this again stereotypical impromptu stream. I thought, you know what, I've got a bit of time on my hands here. I personally always on a Sunday morning think to myself, why isn't there a fantasy football post reaction show to anything that's happened in the day? And I've got an hour spare or whatever, and I thought, you know what, why not? I may as well do this while the Man City game on, may as well do it while the Liverpool game is live on air right now. And I've only just found out that Man City are winning 2-1, with Gundogan getting the second goal and Sterling, of course, getting the assist. Whether you're aware or not, Jason did bring in Sterling, but we'll get onto that in a minute. I am aware that Jason didn't do a stream this afternoon. I believe he's ill. So unfortunately there was no stream this afternoon, and yeah, I've only just found out about half an hour ago that didn't happen. So yeah, I'm literally going to be, as you can see up on screen now, my team's there, and I'm going to be just looking over today's games. More importantly though, if anybody wants to come live on air with me, you know the deal. Just come into the Discord waiting room and I'll bring you live on air. Just a quick one, I just want to say thanks to Dan last night for all that watched the very special Arsenal managerial appointment of Mikel Arteta podcast last night, where Dan of course came on and just gave his reaction to and his thoughts on this Mikel Arteta managerial appointment. Underwhelmed is a bit of an understatement, I think, and if anybody wants to go back and watch it, by all means. I really enjoyed listening back to that podcast this morning. Dan spoke very well. Of course we had Charlie, aka One Rovers Vlog, and Fantasy Football Fix, Triple F, come on and give their quick opinions on the Mikel Arteta. And of course today Carlo Ancelotti was named an hour before kick-off for his game. An hour before the match he was officially appointed as the Everton manager. So Carlo Ancelotti, as you all know, is now the manager of Everton. So yes, let's move on to this afternoon's fixtures, and of course that lunchtime fixture where Arsenal of course drew 0-0. Two teams that cannot keep clean sheets. Of course they go and get two brand new managers and they keep a 0-0. Surprise. I've seen a few people in chat, and in fact that reminds me, let's go and do a Jason, shall we? Let's just quickly say hello to you guys that are in chat, that have come along to watch this. Like I said, this impromptu stream. Like I said, I am fully aware that there was no advertisements for this whatsoever. Like I said, I just felt like doing it. And yes, thank you all for joining in. Uncle Juicy TV, I need my Steve-O fix now, damn it. Well, hello there. Sultan Saeed, good afternoon. Frey, Kit Blue, Thomas McCarthy, Tobias, Philippe Danoski, Taffy, Aman Dillon's here. Of course, Aman Dillon doing so well in our Cash Mini League as we speak. Well, Sean Baburum is here. Of course, he was the first individual last night that asked Dan a question regarding will Arsenal get basically 100 million to spend in the transfer window to shore up Arsenal's defence, and Liverpool have just how's that? Firmino put the ball virtually in the net, but it came from inside of the post back out. How's that not gone in? Extraordinary. Virtually an open goal. Oh, there we are. Anyway, back to what we're talking about here today. Gravy Dave. Oh, you Captain Jimenez, full of the bubbly. As Jericho likes to say on AEW. Mark Cahaos. Did Crystal Palace have to lose their clean sheet? I'm afraid they did. I predicted 0-0 in that game again. The statistics came through on that particular fixture. There has now been 4 1-0 victories in that particular game, all at St James's Park. 3 of them for Newcastle and 1 of them for Crystal Palace, of course, today. Almiron getting his goal there, but again, we'll go through all that in a minute. Gabriel Deropsit, Dave Lister, Matty T. I think I mentioned Vish, Philippe. There's basically hundreds of you here now. Salah, what are you doing here? You should be playing this game, shouldn't you? Fire Togs here. Cy Bellamy, how lucky is Steve-O to have Henderson? Am I lucky? He's a very good goalkeeper. Sheffield United are a very good team defensively wise. I wouldn't say I'm lucky to have him. I think people that owned, like Jason, for example, Goaita, Luck, and Ramsdale, for example, when you've got a player who still concedes a goal but gets 3 bonus points and about 1 million saves. That's luck. But yes, I'm just saying, I'll be all night. Gabriel Derop saying hello to everybody. But there's an assist. Sorry, I'm gonna go through what happened today because Armand Dillon's saying there was an assist for Henderson. Was there really? I don't know. But I'll just quickly see what's what. So, like I said, Everton drawing 0-0 with Arsenal today. It looks like the bonus points are going to be going to David Luiz, Chambers, Digne, and maybe Mina and Holgate sneaking in there. But it looks very, very close indeed regarding the bonus points there. Aston Villa, of course, I used the thumbnail of Danny Ings 2 goals, and I'm now seriously thinking to bring in Danny Ings for Jimenez. That is potentially my next transfer move. I want to look at the fixtures and everything, but my goodness, Danny Ings today, 2 goals. He's going to get 3 bonus points, of course. Shane Long and Ward-Prowse with the assists. Stevens with a goal in there. And, of course, Jack Grealish getting a goal for Aston Villa. Dan, of course, last night telling us that he brought in Jack Grealish. It looks like Ings, Stevens and Grealish getting the bonus points there. Bournemouth, of course, I did say that we never seem to lose against our relegation rivals. And Rodriguez, Super J Rodriguez, coming off the bench, scoring in the, I think it was the 87th, 88th minute. Absolutely incredible. 1-0. I know all Rico owners, including myself, will probably... I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. I was loving it that we won. And Ashley Westwood with the assist. Rodriguez, at the moment, Rodriguez, Billing, Taylor and Pope coming in with the bonus points there. It looks like, again, very, very congested. Moving on to, yes, I Bellamy mentioned Sheffield United, but Brighton 0, Sheffield United 1, and it was Henderson with the assist. If anybody wants to let me know exactly what happened now, I'm just assuming that he just booted the ball out and it fell to McBurney, who got the goal. He scored, but Henderson going to be getting 3 bonus points. McBurney getting the 2 and O'Connell getting 1. Moving on to Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Almiron finally getting his goal after God knows how long playing for Newcastle, but he's finally got his goal. No assist awarded there. Almiron, Dummett and Dubravka getting the bonuses there. And then finally on to Norwich 1, Wolves 2. Wolves goals coming from Saiss and a late Jimenez goal. Matt Doherty and Matina, of course, the community team brought in Matt Doherty this week for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Cantwell, if anybody had Cantwell coming off the bench today, maybe, or even if you had to play him, well done to you guys that still kept faith with Cantwell. Now finally, and of course, Cantwell, Buendia and Jimenez looking like they're getting the 3-2-1 bonus points. And finally on to Man City 2, Leicester 1. Mahrez with the goal and Gundogan for Man City. Vardy, of course, does he ever stop scoring? The answer is no, albeit last week it was an own goal. Harvey Barnes with the assist for Vardy. Mendy and Sterling with the assist. Of course, Jason captained Sterling. You did say that he would bring him in for Mane, and he has gone and rewarded him with an assist right now. And as it stands, Vardy on 3 bonus, Mahrez 2, Mendy with 1. Looking at my team, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was very, very, very cheeky today. I benched Vardy, played Mane, captain Mane, vice-captain Son. Do you know what? I just thought, why not? Why not? Fantasy Football Tips does it with his goalkeeper every single week. And I just thought, I used to do this all the time actually. Back in the day, I used to always deliberately play his players. I've just seen that Scientu's on -1. Oh, he's got a yellow card. Typical. But yeah, so as it stands right now, I am on 22 points. My main differentials being Henderson. Well, it's Henderson really coming through and Jimenez. Those 2 players there, which of course I'm very, very happy with. And I have no idea how anybody else is doing regarding points wise. What I'll probably do is I'll go through what I always do, which is the cash mini league. I did it at the start of the day. I always do it at the update. I was watching Davey FPL his stream live before the deadline, and when it all finished and everything, of course, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I went on and looked at what our cash league rivals have done. Davey FPL did make a joke on with his team. In fact, you know what? Let's bring up Davey FPL's team, because that'll give you all context as to what on earth I am talking about. He's doing very well in our cash league. I believe he's 8th. Yes, he is. He's 8th. He did his wild card this week, and he's on 22 points. But everybody will understand this, which is he did say that he benched Jamie Vardy, and he did say that for anybody that comes back to him, that if he does score and does well, that we all have the right to say that he's beep at giving advice. And basically he said rap, spelt with a C. But all said with a bit of tongue-in-cheek, a bit of fun there. But yeah, he did bench Vardy, would you believe? Even when I watched the stream myself, I was quite surprised that he was playing Traoré versus over Vardy, but whatever, that's his decision. But of course, his wild card there, bringing in Guaita, Kelly, Lundstrom, Target. He captained Kevin De Bruyne so far, no attacking returns. He was toing and froing between Kevin De Bruyne and Son. I'll explain why I captained Son in a minute. Sorry, vice-captained him. But he chose to captain De Bruyne. Still could pay off. We still got way over, 35 minutes to go. Grealish paying off today. Ali, Traoré, Rashford and Kane. And of course, like we've just seen there, Vardy on the bench. But yeah, the reason why I essentially captained, so to speak, Son is because of his home record. I'm somebody that just looks at quite literally raw data. Oh, have Liverpool just... Nope. Sorry, a ball came in. Firmino was literally left standing on his own. And in fact, I think that was Robertson that took a shot. It fell to Firmino. I think it would have been offside though. I'm pretty sure that would have been offside. And it was definitely Robertson, yeah. Anyhow, and yeah, it basically, I think that Son's home form is excellent. As you can see here, home to Burnley, 12 points. Home to Bournemouth, 10 points. Home to Sheffield United, 8 points. He's playing Chelsea. Yes, history suggests that he doesn't do well, but you know, I just think that Son does perform in these big games. Sorry, Man City on the attack there. And I hear as well, there's no hearing about Aguero's on the bench today. Could he come into Could he come into our thoughts if he was to come off the bench and score today? Who knows? But yeah, I just preferred Son in a game where they're playing Chelsea. If they win, then they go above Chelsea. And yeah, I just think that big game player. They'll be playing on the counter attack. Son and Ali are just going to be standing in the box. Kane will be out back. I'm probably going to eat my words tomorrow, but whatever. I'm happy with captaining Son. So yeah, I think that it should pay off. I'd like to think it will do. We all know defensively Chelsea are absolutely pants, and we know that as of late Tottenham are excellent going forward. So the facts are there. The question is, will it pay off? Once again, we will find out tomorrow on Sunday Surgery exactly what happens. I see that James Bang is in the Discord, and I'm going to bring him on. Why not? I could do with someone else to speak to. Like I said, if anyone wants to come live on air, you're more than welcome to. Just join in on just go in the waiting room on Discord, and I'll be more than happy to bring you on, like last night. Have a coherent conversation. Cheers for that. FPL mechanic. I'm amazed you can hear the commentary. I may as well turn the radio off because I can barely hear it. Wouldn't that be funny if we got banned again? So anyway, let's bring on James Bang. Evening, James.
Good evening, Steve-O. Mahrez just came awfully close to scoring.
How is the game?
Just wide.
How's the game looking so far?
It's been all City and Leicester on the counter-attack.
So, in fact, you know what? I'll bring up his team now. Jason, of course, brought in Sterling yesterday. Well, no, he did it this morning, I think he did. He certainly... No, he did it yesterday. He fell into temptation, I quote, and he decided to bring in Sterling for Mane. So far, it's paid off. He's captained him. He's got an assist.
KDB's through on goal. Oh, it's a clearance off the line. Jesus should have scored that one.
God, what is it with Brazilians? Firmino, Jesus can't seem to be able to put a ball in the back of the net. And what did you think of Jason's transfer, bringing in Sterling last night and captaining him?
You're not going to believe this. After I watched your stream, and I saw how you were contemplating the move, and Jason was trying his best to talk you out of it, I decided to do it.
Oh.
I took a -4, brought in Sterling for Mane, and benched Maddison for this game and started Sterling.
Wow. Are you happy with that decision?
So far, yes, because Maddison's been invisible all game. He's been very, very quiet. Sterling's got an assist, and he easily could have another goal or an assist. There's plenty of time left, and for me, it's a 2-week punt. So I'm very happy so far. So thank you, Jason.
So do you how in general though, how are Man City actually looking since taking the lead?
They haven't stopped attacking. It's just all City right now. It's wave after wave after wave.
So do you see this staying 2-1 by full time, or do you think it will end a higher score?
You know, football, it's hard to tell, but if you're just going by shot attempts, it could easily become a 4-1, 4-2 type of a game.
Wow, so essentially you're basically saying that, apparently Kevin De Bruyne's got a yellow card, is that right?
He did, right after that sitter Jesus missed, he was a bit upset, started screaming.
I've just seen breaking news that Show Me the Mane captained Richarlison. Is that right? Do we know this? Do you know anything about this? Let's go and find out, shall we?
First time I hear it. So, Leicester on the counter again. Vardy crosses it in. Harvey Barnes just needed a touch to get a goal. He actually touched it, but it went wide, so it's almost equalised.
When you watch this game, how do you see Leicester setting up? Are they just literally setting up to hit on the counter?
That's it. They've got nothing going forwards. As soon as the City loses the ball, it's just straight downhill. Long balls.
Let's just look at James. Oh, wait a minute. Show Me the Mane has played his free hit. Ooh. Okay. And he went with top heavy with Wolves, Man City triple up, a double up with Everton, and he did captain Richarlison. Reaction. What on earth? Right, so I don't know if you can. Have you got the up on screen by any chance, James?
I do not have it on screen, but I can bring it up right now.
What are your thoughts on Show Me the Mane bringing in Lucas Moura and benching him? That is.
Wow.
What were your instant reaction to that team up in front of you right now?
Calvert-Lewin, a bit of a surprise. I'd probably put Lucas Moura ahead of him. Don't know why. Yeah, it's a bit surprising. He's got Maguire on the bench. I guess he's planned for the long term here, but he's got no.
This is a free hit. This is just a one-off game week.
Oh, you're right. So he's loaded up on players he thought will do well this game week.
But surely, if you're in a situation again, we can use the terminology. He's a rival at the end of it. I get that, but if we use that, we wouldn't be here as a show. But I just want to delve deeper into the psychology behind this. I just don't understand
Where's
why you...
Ali? Where's Kane? I mean...
Again, what do you think the logic would be in doubling up on Wolves' attack? Just the fact that Norwich are defensively so poor?
They were poor, but they've got players back and they've looked a lot more solid recently, so definitely wouldn't have done that. I would have more doubled up or tripled up on the Spurs attack.
So, I just can't get my head around that. Today we've had 6 games so far. Is it 6? No, 8 games today. What's been the standout result? Is it Danny Ings scoring twice for Southampton, a 3-1 victory? Is it that well, in my case, the absolute fantastic result of Burnley winning, but for a lot of people, Rico losing his clean sheet. What was your thoughts on today's matches?
So before this match, I was actually watching the Newcastle Crystal Palace game. Okay. And the second half, it was all Crystal Palace, not a shot from Newcastle. Possession was dominated by Palace. They were attacking. It looked like City versus, I don't know, Norwich. And just to see that goal going in the 83rd minute was just a real shocker. Because I had Kelly, and I'm sure a lot of people had Guaita. So that was a bit of a shocking result based on the football played. Newcastle winning.
How did, for Jason's sake, how did Zaha look?
He looked very dangerous. He was involved in everything, actually. He looked very good.
If you're in Jason's shoes, okay, you've got Zaha. He's got your 1 goal in, 4 games, I think it is, that Jason's owned him for. He's got him 1 goal. And let's be honest here, he brought him in for the fixtures. Of the 2 players from Crystal Palace he brought in, which was, of course, Guaita and Zaha. Guaita has clearly dominated the points for him. If you're in Jason's shoes, are you just thinking, like I would, get him gone?
He should have been out before this game week. I would have taken the points last week and said thank you very much. He had 1 shot, so he probably should have taken the points and run.
What could you tell? Specifically tell me, but if anybody doesn't know, what was the Henderson assist then? Was it just a goal kick and it just landed at McBurney's feet?
So I wasn't watching that game, but I was in the Discord and people said he kicked it off, and there was actually a touch though by a defender's head, so it was questionable whether it was going to be an assist, and eventually it was given.
So do you think that will be taken off, or do you think no, that will stand?
I think it will stand because it took a long time for it to come on, so I think they deliberated on it for quite a while.
Like I said, Danny Ings has been the big talking point in my opinion today. I'll bring it up on the transfer screen right now regarding Danny Ings, because he at the moment is just scoring goals for fun. If we quickly bring up his information, so to speak, since game week 12 he's scored in every single fixture barring West Ham. He's got 11 goals so far this season, 1 assist. He is only 6.4 in price. He's going to go up in price tonight, we all know this. James, are you thinking of bringing in Danny Ings?
Not right now. So after he scored the 2 goals, I did what probably everyone did and started looking at his fixtures.
I've just looked at them. Wow.
Yeah. So they're pretty tough. This was probably the last good game. I'm thinking after game week 26, doesn't matter what his price is, I'll bring him in, because he's got 6 out of 7 greens, and let's be honest, Arsenal at home should be a green. So that's probably 7 great fixtures in a row. So I'd say hold off for now, and I'd bring him in around game week 26.
If he was to score against Chelsea, is it just a case of get him in immediately?
It could be tempted, but I'm happy with my strikers right now. But yeah, I think a lot of people will probably just bring him in and call him fixture-proof because he's the talisman of Southampton.
Because I'm looking at... I know this is knee-jerk, I'm not going to lie. You've just said it yourself. You immediately look to the fixtures for Danny Ings. Unfortunately, they're all red, so to speak. Jimenez, we all know how supposedly well Wolves do against the tougher opposition. He's got Man City and Liverpool up next. He scored today. Would it be wise to get rid of Jimenez get rid of Jimenez and bring in Danny Ings? Because let's be honest here, Man City and Liverpool for Jimenez are up next. Ings has got Chelsea away, Crystal Palace at home. They're two very, very similar things. Or do you just think, Steve-O, don't worry about it, look at somebody else?
You could go to Ings because all the fixtures are so fast and upcoming that we're getting a lot of free transfers. So you could easily move back to Jimenez, game week 21, to get Watford, Newcastle and Southampton. It's not like a 1 week wait, it's probably 2-3 days apart. So I'd probably do the quick switch over to Ings and back to Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez, he's doing so well at the moment. When I saw it on a final score...
KDB assist. He crosses it left for... who was that finishing? Jesus finished it. Tapped it into the goal.
So to clarify, KDB has just got an assist for a Jesus goal.
KDB assist, Jesus goal.
So it's 3-1. Do you know... It's incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible. I did predict 3-1 to Leicester. To Man City. Today, Jason went with 3-2. Again, it's typical. I've done really well on the predictions again. Absolutely ridiculous. But what was the actual goal like, James?
So KDB was on the right wing. He crossed it, flashed it across the goal all the way to the left post. Jesus just tapped it into an empty net. It was just a pinnacle pass from KDB.
Are you able to post your team in the Discord, team screenshots at all?
Sure, I can do that right away.
While you're doing that, just a quick reminder for everybody that on Monday evening, the Daily Llama and Jason are going to be doing the Champions League Elite FPL draw. So, I don't know how... James, do you know how many people are involved in this draw?
I heard 66.
So 66 people are going to be participating in the Elite FPL Champions League draw. We're going to be doing it live on Monday evening. Stay posted for when we're actually going live. I think I'll be able to be there as well. I'd like to think I will be there, for crying out loud. But more importantly, James, you've kindly donated a prize. Do you want to tell the audience what that prize is, please?
Yes, so we're going to give away £100 in Bitcoin to the winner of the Elite Champions League.
Okay, yeah, and for anybody, again, like people like myself, I know the answer to this, but how, for people that are a bit concerned about Bitcoin and everything like this, can you put their mind at rest? Tell them how safe it is, basically?
Absolutely. So we just send it to your digital wallet, or I'll send it to your digital wallet, and it's basically as good as cash. You can cash it out at exchanges all around the world, UK, America, Australia. But what you might want to do is actually hold on to it for a couple of years and watch that grow from £100 to £300-400.
Excellent, excellent. And are you looking for... I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but are you looking forward to the this Champions League draw? Apparently someone's just said that there's 96 people. Gabriel Derop saying it's 96. Oh, yeah, Chelsea Flyer. Gabriel Derop saying there's 96 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So, are you looking forward to the draw?
Absolutely. I'm hoping to get some big celebrities in my group.
For people listening in audio, not knowing what's going on regarding the Liverpool game, it's still 0-0 against Flamengo, but Oxlade-Chamberlain has gone down injured. He's going to be stretchered off. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. He's not happy at all. It looks like he's done some serious damage. So we'll try and keep you updated with what's going on there, but definitely Oxlade-Chamberlain, unfortunately, will be taken off with what appears to be a serious injury. He doesn't look happy whatsoever. But I've got your team up on screen. As it stands right now, you're on 33 points. For people listening on audio, Heaton, Lundstrom, Kelly, Target, Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, Abraham, Vardy, Kane. You went with Ali captain. Do you want to tell the audience?
History, Steve-O. History. I decided to follow it this week because it's such an unknown week. It's a differential week of captains. I figured, why not take a punt? And it seems to have paid off for a lot of people listening to the history, so I went with it.
Oxlade-Chamberlain is okay. He's walking, thankfully, but he will be subbed off. What's your prediction for the Tottenham game?
I think it's going to be wide open. Looking at similar scoreline to this game, about 3-1.
3-1. I'm assuming to Tottenham.
Yes.
And your thoughts on Abraham? Because when we were having that discussion regarding Jimenez and Ings and everything, I was thinking, on a minute, what about Abraham? Are you happy moving forward with Abraham, considering Chelsea's form of late?
I just looking to keep him for a little bit longer, but Danny Ings is on my mind.
Can you remind myself and the audience, you've taken a -4. I know you've already briefly. What was the 2 transfers, please?
So it was Mane out for KDB, and I believe I had a defensive injury, Clark at Newcastle for Target.
Are you happy with those moves? Considering today, obviously, Target conceded 3 goals. Oh, Salah's
not
just...
very happy.
Oh, sorry, James. Salah...
KDB's come close as well.
Oh, Salah's just scored, but it's been ruled offside, unfortunately. And you've just said KDB's come close. Do you want to tell the audience as to what happened?
He was inside the box, powerful shot, which was saved by the keeper, palmed over the post, palmed over the goal.
Salah in chat is saying that Jason will be disappointed if Sterling only gets the 1 assist. We're approaching. We've still got 15 minutes left plus stoppage time, give or take. Does Sterling look like he's going to get anything at all within the 15 hours? Do you think Man City are just closing this game off now?
No, they're still attacking, but Sterling's been very wasteful this game. He probably should have had another goal and an assist.
So obviously you mentioned the fact that because of Jason, you brought in Sterling yourself. Are you
yes?
Are you disappointed at owning Sterling now?
Not at all, because I'm looking at this as a 2-week punt. So I would have had Mane on the bench and away to Leicester next week. Instead of that, I'm getting Sterling at home against Leicester and away at Wolves, which I think is a worthwhile 2-week punt.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you happy with your team, James, at the moment? I mean, could you remind the audience and myself where you are overall rank-wise?
Around 2 million right now overall.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I didn't realise you were that...
I'm having a horrible year. I missed week 1, essentially.
Okay.
My team, I thought it was set, and it was... I guess I didn't press save, so I've been playing catch-up ever since.
And for you personally, are you just now writing this season off and just waiting for the well, let's be honest here, the Champions League to start and kick on from there?
I'm still aiming to get into the top 100k. Haven't given up.
Wow.
Yes,
from 2 million?
Yes.
Wow, are you confident you could do that?
I'm not confident at all, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard some stories, so let's see what I can do.
Michael Swedlin making a very interesting point, and I'll ask you about him. But It's too bad that Mahrez isn't nailed in the City team. He looks really lively, and every time Mahrez seems to play, he seems to score. Your thoughts on Mahrez in this particular game? What you've seen of him?
He's man of the match. He's been everywhere. His shots have been good. He's quite unlucky to be on 1 goal. He easily could be on 2 goals, 3 goals right now. He looks like a top quality player for City.
Are you still in the FPL Cup?
I am still in the cup, yes.
And who are you playing? In the sense of, is it a ghost team? It's
No, he's an active team. He's on 16 points, right? He's on 16 points. He got McGinn, who got off hurt, injured.
Did he? What happened there?
Apparently, well, he got a really serious injury, and he left the match within 5 minutes.
Really? Well,
yeah.
That's not good for many owners. We got somebody in chat right now, Max Edwards, saying that at the moment he's got 57 points with Aurier, Ali, Martial and Son captain to play. Max Edwards, if you could just write in the comments section, obviously, who the points are coming from. I can't imagine where on earth you've got 57 points from without your captain playing. I mean, I'm assuming you've got Sterling, KDB, Henderson and maybe a Burnley defender, Lundstrom, etc, etc. I'll be interested to see how on earth you've got 57 points right now. So
he must definitely have Henderson.
Yeah. we've got the Don saying that how on earth is Vardy still on 3 points for bonus points wise? Can you see why he's still on 3 bonus points?
Not really, no. He's only had 2 good attempts this game. I'm quite surprised how he's on 3, considering they're losing 3-1.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be one of those.
He hasn't seen much of the ball either, so I don't know how he's racking up his BPS.
Max straight away. So he's got Henderson. He's had Henderson, Kelly, Lundstrom, Grealish, Vardy, Ings, Jimenez. Plus the bonus points. Right. Right. Okay. So you were counting the bonus points as well. That's crazy. Sultan Saeed saying that he's on 49 points total. That's including bonus points as well. James, if you want to stay live on air for a second, but all I'm going to do now is just quickly run through the Kashmir League.
All right.
I'll just get your thoughts, and if anything happens, obviously in the City game, just report it immediately. So,
will do.
Like I said, everybody, I'm just going to quickly go through the Kashmir League, see what some of the runners and riders have done, because it does interest me all the time what our rivals have done. It always fascinates me regarding captaincy wise. Like I said, we've already seen Show Me the Mane, and I'll bring it up again for anybody that's joining us live right now. And you never know, Show Me the Mane could actually be watching right now. I don't think he is, because normally he's very, very active in the chat. He's fallen down to, I can never see where he is. There's so many people in our Kashmir League at the moment. I know he's doing very, very well. There he is. He's 14th. So here's Show Me the Mane's free hit chip. He's on 39 points at the moment. In fact, I'll ask everybody in chat. Looking at the screen at the moment, everybody, just put a Y for this was a good free hit, or an N for a bad free hit. So he's got Guaita, Doherty, Otamendi, Lundstrom, Sterling, Richarlison captain, Son, De Bruyne, Jimenez, Jota, Calvert-Lewin, and he benched Lucas Moura. So like I said, a Y for a good free hit, or an N for a bad free hit. And I don't even need to even look at the the phones. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Statman's here. If you want to come live on air, Statman, by all means. Everybody's basically saying no. In fact, Jaden's saying it's shocking. Yeah. Again, we all say all this stuff in hindsight. It's unfortunately one of those things. But I pride myself on my predictions, and I went Wolves to win 2-1. again, yes, any one of those three could have come through, but unfortunately, Jota didn't. Jimenez only getting the one goal, and Doherty, yes, he got an assist, but no clean sheet there. Man City in a tough... Well, I know I predicted 3-1, but still, top 6 team. In fact, let's be honest here, Leicester in second spot. They have actually got very good history versus Man City. Always tight games, but today's been proven not to be the case. And then, of course, he's got Son and the punt on Richarlison as captain. The history, of course, he started twice for Everton versus Arsenal, got absolutely nothing. Again, Show Me the Money is somebody that loves to take risks, and unfortunately in this case it hasn't paid off. I'm going to deliberately, I've just realised somebody that I do want to look at is FPL Booner's team. FPL Booner, of course, he took a -12. In fact, James, what did you think of FPL Booner's -12?
I was a bit surprised he did it on this game week because it's going to be a very, very low scoring game week. The average is right now, as it stands, is 32 with 10 players played. Sorry, with 9 players played, so there's only 3 left and the average is 32. So it looks like we're going to have around a 40-point game week, and to take a 12-point hit on a week like this seems very, very risky.
Just to remind everybody, I've got it up on screen anyway, but just to remind everybody what his -12 was. 5 players out, so and there was logic to this. Oh, God. Great save, Henderson, an absolute thunderbolt of a shot there. It's at 85 minutes. The goalkeeper does, of course, the old diving save, a beautiful save, tipping it over the bar. Whack. But still 0-0. Yes, so back to FPL Booner's transfers, which all makes sense here. But Salah, Wickham, Alexander-Arnold, Vardy, Mousset out for Martial, Rashford, Vertonghen, Kane and Jota. As it stands right now, he's been a bit cheeky as well, to be fair. He's done a Steve-O here. He's benched a couple of players that are playing today and played some players that didn't. In this case being, he played Button, but he's got Henderson on the bench. He played Mane, but Jota on the bench. These players left to play are Wan-Bissaka, Vertonghen, Martial, Son, Kane captain. James, your thoughts on Booner captaining Kane?
He was my bus captain, actually, before I got the history lesson on the show on Thursday. I think he's a great captaincy choice. He seems to play very well over this Christmas period. And he's on penalties, so I think he's got a good shot to score some points tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And we're going to be bringing on another guest, James. It's going to be Kev, aka Statman. I will try and find his team in a second, and what we'll do is we'll bring him on right now. If I can just bring him on. There we are. Kev, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, there you are. Good evening, Kev. James is with us as well. Are you watching the game as well, Kev? Man City game, or you've got the Liverpool game on?
I haven't, no. I haven't, mate. I haven't got any access to that game.
Fair enough. Let's get your quick live reaction to Newcastle winning in the dying embers in the 83rd minute. Almiron finally getting a goal. Your thoughts on that? Well, that result basically.
Yeah, it'll do them the world of good. There's nothing like a last-minute winner. I think everyone thought it was going to be tight, didn't we? Most played Kelly. If you had a Newcastle defender, you probably started them thinking it was 0-0, and it was heading that way. But yeah, obviously Willem's owner, so I was gutted to see him on the bench, in real life. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm not sure if Lejeune or someone's back fully fit, so that's an issue I'm going to have to address. But a good win for the Toon, yeah. Not good for me FPL team though, Steve.
Well, you're on 32 points right now, as it stands.
Yeah.
Who was your transfer? You've done one transfer this week. Who was it?
Grealish in for Pulisic.
Oh, so that's instantly paid off. Well done to you there. You're 77th in our Cash Mini League.
Don't even.
I mean, I feel bad enough in our Cash Mini League. How are you feeling?
What are you at?
So,
where are you now, Steve?
well, I don't know live-wise, but I know that I'm something like 44th or 54th, something like that.
So you're on the first page, yeah. It was last week absolutely destroyed us. I had to actually flick off Twitter and Discord and stuff for a good, well, until last night. That KDB, bringing out KDB for Son, coupled with Jimenez out for Rashford, like a 26-point swing deficit. So that was just monstrous. But I didn't realise how many of the popular players had done it as well. I thought it was a real one-off, but now I'm dipping back into it. I realise how many people did without KDB that week, but it still hurts because I've had him since game week 1, and I always tipped him to do better than Sterling, and I was influenced by the price. I'm watching the price rises and falls too closely, so I'm not looking at that anymore this season. I seen it was going to go down, Son was going up, and that pushed the decision over the line. So no more playing the value game. But yeah, gutted. Absolutely, I'm sitting at about just inside 1 million. It's ridiculous. But you know, halfway through the season, hopefully we can just keep clawing back and have a respectable score finish.
Well, I've just brought up your team from last week, and you had Zaha on the bench. Again, we all make these logical decisions, but once again, that must have made your week even worse, especially after, like you said, getting rid of Kevin De Bruyne. Sorry, just a second. Mane's just been put through, and he's... Well, hold on a minute, we've got a penalty in this game. Oh no. Liverpool get a last... Well, if it gets put in the net, they've gone and got a last-minute winner. If it gets scored, but Flamengo have just conceded a penalty. Mane was put through. I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name, but Rafinha. Rafinha has been booked. He was the player that brought Mane down. Mane was put through, completely taken out, and Liverpool have now gone and got themselves a penalty. Oh my! And in fact, ironically, if he hadn't put that tackle in, Mane would have shot wide anyway. That would have been a terrible miss if he hadn't have come in with the tackle here. And it looks like they've got VAR in this particular. I did not know that they had VAR in this tournament. I thought that wasn't there, but I would like to think that it's a clear and obvious penalty. It is going to VAR. It will go become a penalty, and we'll bring you what happens in a second to that. But yeah, Kev, in all seriousness, are you enjoying FPL this year?
Not as much as last year. You can't compare when you're doing well to when you struggle. Like put it straight, struggling. But it's still enjoyable, isn't it? You know, like you have your good weeks, your bad weeks. But I still love the process, and I love the homework we do on the history and making your decisions. But when all them decisions go wrong, you know, it's so disheartening, isn't it? Like last week, I tweeted a picture of my team, and I said, if this team with these fixtures doesn't get an above average score, I'm quitting. And it didn't. It was well under average. I had Pulisic at home to Bournemouth blank, Abraham blank, Rashford blank, like Son, Ali, everyone blanked. But on paper, you know, it was a strong ass team. So yeah, I've just took that week off because I could have really made some big snap transfers, and I didn't. I just made the early one, the Grealish in for Pulisic. I'd had enough of Pulisic. Just 5 blanks was unbelievable. So, you know, off the back of the form he was in when I brought him in, it's how can you predict that? How can you predict? I think did he have like 4 goals in 3 games or something along them lines, and then 5 blanks, just unbelievable. So No, I'm not enjoying it, Steve.
I mean, you're sounding very similar to how FPL Boona was, well, he still is, feeling a few weeks back when he pretty much was saying, I just feel like giving up. And just to let, sorry to interject, just to let people know that in this particular game, in the Liverpool game, he's not given the penalty. And just to let people know, the foul was outside the penalty area committed. Oh, wow. And interestingly enough, the I know Jason, it's a fascinating conversation when Jason talks about the VAR decisions. He always goes on about the fact that why don't the referees in the Premier League go to a pitch side monitor? Well, in this particular case, that's exactly what's happened. And, well, the penalty has not been awarded. Although, I don't know if it's now, if the referee's suggesting then that it was a dive, because there is now going to be a free kick given to Flamengo. Extraordinary. I honestly don't know what on earth's going on here. So is Rafinha's yellow card going to be rescinded? It is. So Rafinha's yellow card's been rescinded. They're not going to book Mane for diving because he didn't dive. And now we're probably, in fact, we're going to get extra time in this Liverpool versus Flamengo. It makes you laugh, doesn't it, Kev, that everybody thought that Liverpool would win this tournament with absolute ease, and they've struggled.
Yep. Good. Let's get them back.
Do you think this will have a detrimental effect on their Premier League form? Because they've got Leicester next on Thursday.
Yeah, no, it could go either way, couldn't it? It's the same with all cup competitions. A good performance can keep the confidence riding high. A loss, a bad performance, it's a hard one to call, isn't it, Steve? We'll find out against Leicester, really. But the way City have tore Leicester apart here, I was thinking of shipping Mane out for the Christmas period. But Leicester, although is it still 3-1? Although that
full time, just blew the whistle.
Full time.
So
there you go, 3-1.
So James,
it could have been about 7-1, man. City must have had 20 shots. You know what I mean? And that's not even an informed City. So what I was getting to is I'll probably hold Mane, Steve. That's what.
So James, do you want to just give us your thoughts on this Man City demolition of Leicester? Kev's just said that it could have been 6-7.
He's not wrong. They had 23 shots, 12 on target. Easily could have been 5-6-1. But Leicester, to be fair, had a couple good chances on the counter-attack. They were never really in this game, apart from on the break. City deserved the win, a comfortable win. And Aguero actually looked quite lively in the 2-minute, 3-minute cameo that he had. He had a decent one chance in on goal. When he came on for KDB, Kevin De Bruyne left the game off limping, but it looks like just a cramp, and he was okay.
Oh, really? So right, okay, here's the question for you then, James. Are Man City back, and excuse the pun, with a bang?
I think they were back last week. Looks like you should have at least one City asset, if not two, in your team going forwards. And, okay, well, here's the question for you then. I know somebody in chat, I don't know who it was, I apologise, but somebody in chat did say that he avoided Man City assets because you just don't know who's going to get the points. The question for you then is, you've just mentioned you should have a minimum of 2 Man City assets. Obviously Kevin De Bruyne, we all know, is one of them. Who's the other one going to be then? I think Pep's finally realised Mendy is his left back and not Angelino. Mendy's had a decent game with an assist, and he's dropped a lot in price, so I wouldn't mind looking at a City defender as well. Well, is Mendy an option then? I think so. And up front, you'd probably... Mahrez is a bit tough because he's not consistent. At 11.8, Sterling could be someone to bring in. His price has dropped quite a lot. So I'd say KDB for sure, and a question mark on Mendy and Sterling.
You mentioned, obviously, in chat I've just seen as well, but you've just mentioned that Aguero looked lively when he came on. Does Aguero walk straight into this team? Does he take Jesus' place, or is it Jesus' place to lose?
I reckon he walks straight into the team. Jesus has been so wasteful the last few. I know he scored a few goals, but I think Aguero, given the same chances, would have converted a lot more than what Jesus has done with his opportunity. So I think he probably walks back into the team. Well, obviously, due to the Christmas fixtures, it's probably going to be a rotation with the two. But after the Christmas fixtures, I think Aguero will be the man again.
Kev, I'm looking at your team here. You've got no Man City assets. James is saying that everybody should have, in his opinion, a minimum of 2 Man City assets. We take it as read that Kevin De Bruyne is obviously one of them. I know you got rid of him last week. Do you agree with James, basically?
Yeah, big regret taking KDB out and losing the value in him, and obviously 2 weeks of scoring. But apart from KDB, it's like I can't pay the price of Sterling for him for what he's returning, and then everyone else you're playing roulette still. So if David Silva was fit, I really want to look at him. You know, it's his last season. He's performed every game nearly he's played in. But he's obviously injured. So I am looking at KDB in. But apart from him, who are you going to go with? Who can you go? Jesus and Aguero's back on the scene. You know, you're rolling the dice every week. It's the same with Mahrez. Mahrez looks brilliant this week. But can he be benched next week? I can't afford that, Steve-O. Not in the position I'm in. So I'd prefer to just get KDB in as cover and then look to, you know, pick some good differentials to make up ground.
Well, Robert Dinsmore has made this point that there's too much point distribution in the City, in my opinion. I've just mentioned Aguero. I know that it's all down to the fact that he's got to dislodge Jesus' place, but let's just say, for argument's sake, that Aguero scores against Wolves on Boxing Day, basically. Well, no, it's not Boxing Day. It's on the 27th, annoyingly. Does Aguero come back into our thought process, or is it just a case of no? Let's just stick with the set. In your case, Abraham, Vardy, Rashford, or Jimenez in there, Ings.
Yeah. I can't play roulette anymore. I had Aguero, you know, I got his big points, tall, and then I probably sat on him for too long, and I got all the blanks and then the injury. So that one still cuts deep, but. I'm probably gonna switch Tammy to Mopai after the Southampton game, Steve-O. He's really low ownership still. Brighton have got some cracking fixtures coming up, and he's in good form. If you look at the goals he scored in the last 6 or so games, he is on fire really. And his ownership's so low, I think he's the one that could claw some points back, because I'm not confident with Chelsea. We'll see how they look against Spurs tomorrow, but. You know, I'm ready to bail on both of them. I got rid of Pulisic this week and ready to drop Tammy after the Southampton game, I think. So that's how my forward line will be changing. Definitely no City.
Aguero is really cheap though at 11.7.
Do you think that's really cheap though?
We were paying 12.2. So if he gets back to Aguero, yeah, he's down to 11.7.
Oh, yeah.
So I you know, if you made me choose, I'd probably now say, I didn't know he was that cheap now, I'd say KDB and Aguero are 2 to have going forwards.
I mean, I'll ask you the question then that I asked Kev, which is simply this, James. Aguero scores against Wolves. You've mentioned the fact that he looked really, really lively and everything. Is he somebody that you just think, do you know what, I've said that we need to get a minimum of 2 Man City assets in? Do you immediately put him in your team, or is it a case of, wait a minute, there's too much restructuring to force him in?
No, Kane actually. You know, don't have to do too much. So definitely I would ship out Kane. I'd find he's probably going to go up to 10.9, so I'll probably just have to find 0.9 somewhere. And yeah, I'll get that done. Put my money where my mouth is. Yeah,
and that's exactly it. Kev, you were talking about Mopai. He's got 3. Well, he got 3 goals in 3. So Arsenal, Wolves, Crystal Palace. I know it was Sheffield United. I know they're very, very good defensively. His next game is Tottenham away. Then it's Bournemouth at home, Chelsea at home, Everton away. They're not the most enticing fixtures. Do you really want to be bringing in Mopay ahead of Abraham?
I do, Steve-O, I do, because it's where his goals came against. You know, like he scored against Watford, he scored against Burnley, Spurs, fair enough, Everton, and then Arsenal, Wolves, Palace, and I need, like, the problem I've got with my team at the minute, I'm struggling to pick the 11. I've never been a manager to have depth. You know, I normally have a plain but low budget bench, so that I normally start on 11. I've got no headaches. So as you seen last week was Zaha on the bench. I didn't know who to start.
Why have you ended up in this situation?
Oh man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it went wrong. I just know I made most transfer calls wrong, and I've ended up with too much quality. Bringing in Zaha when I shouldn't have, and you know I should have left it at Cantwell. You've seen what Cantwell's done over the last few weeks. He was also going to be a season-long hold for me. You know, even when everyone was jumping off the Norwich bandwagon, I held on to Cantwell and I upgraded him. I shouldn't have upgraded him. I should have just left him as is, and I would have been happy to bench him when needed. Now I've got, like, see next week, I'm potentially next week going to have to bench Marnie. Like, that's how it's looking, you know, because my midfield will be Son, Ali, Grealish at home to Norwich. I've got to play Grealish, the form he's in, and Zaha at home to West Ham. I feel like I've got to give Zaha that home game against the Hammers and bench Marnie, or I'm going to bench Zaha and he's going to return. You know, like, I just feel I'm going to get stung every week. So I really need to... But then how do you go about downgrading players? I feel like I'm wasting a transfer, downgrading Zaha to Cantwell just so I've got less of a headache. It seems like a totally pointless move. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but what I normally tend to do personally is I look at the players that I've got and I just simply say this: who isn't performing? And for me personally, it was Pulisic. I thought, get him gone. Yeah. When it comes to my strike force of Jimenez, Vardy and Rashford, it's just a simple case of, well, comparing of the three, Jimenez in my case is the weakest. So I say to myself, well, which midfielder is performing better than Jimenez? So I just think, well, I may as well go to, it comes down to formation then. So I'm seriously thinking of going back to a 3-5-2, sticking with obviously two strikers which are consistently bringing in basically, give or take, double-digit hauls each week, give or take, or high-scoring points each week. And then, I'm stating the obvious, but then have 5 midfielders which are consistently bringing in the points. I know I'm stating the obvious, but when I look at your team here, I just think to myself, if I was in your shoes, I would probably get rid of Zaha. That's just my opinion. I just think get rid of Zaha, bring in whatever cheap midfielder you want to bring in, like Den Donker or whoever, and then you won't have a benching headache. James, how do you approach? How would you approach this situation where Kev's got basically a team full of highly priced players and always struggling with which players to play?
He does have the right period of time to have a strong bench right now.
Yeah.
So I'd probably wait till after the Christmas fixtures before doing some surgery. But Zaha, he probably does have to go.
Yeah, I think... I mean, I know you've already made a transfer. I wouldn't be immediately getting rid... I mean, who has Zaha got next? Who have Crystal Palace up next?
West Ham at home. West Ham at home. That's why I was wanting to keep him. You know what I mean? West Ham at home. London derby.
I mean, obviously, I can't remember. Wasn't that just recent? Didn't they play? So when it was away, they won 2-1. Zaha did absolutely nothing in that particular fixture. This particular game, I can see it being very, very tight again. 1-0 either way, 1-1, something like that. Will Zaha get anything? That obviously we don't know. But to stop you from having a headache, Kev, I think certainly getting rid of one of Zaha or... I mean, you've got the double up of Spurs.
Like, would you just play Marnie? Would you just play Marnie next week, Steve? Or
Oh.
like play Marnie away to Leicester and just drop Zaha and have him face sub in case?
Yes.
You know what I mean? In case Marnie gets rested or some, you know what I mean, with a rotation around this time of year. Because the plan was to roll the transfer next week and do a mini wild card in 20. Like that's my plan. It's basically Zaha versus Marnie. And I'm a fixture guy. But seeing Leicester get tore apart by City has made us a lot more confident putting Marnie in and just dropping Zaha.
And
maybe that was a good.
And what is it now? Leicester are now... How many points were Liverpool ahead of Leicester? What was it? 8 or 10? It was 10, wasn't it? It's 10, isn't it? So, will Klopp have the cojones to maybe play a weakened team versus Leicester, considering such the point gap and the fact that they've gone into extra time? They're going to have to travel all the way from Qatar, or wherever it is they're playing. Doha, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah. Qatar, yeah.
Oh, Doha, right. So... It's a case of if you Klopp... What do you think, Kev? What do you think, James? Will Klopp rest players in the Leicester game, considering they got such a large points gap?
Yeah, I personally think he has to go for it and widen that gap and then rest your players after against weaker opponents.
Kev?
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe start with a strong lineup and try to get a bit of a cushion. Like City could have pulled off players. It would have been a bit risky at 2-1, but you know Leicester didn't look in it. If Liverpool can get into that position, be 2-0 up, they could pull. Because they tend to start strong, don't they? Like in memory, they kind of pull players off, like Mane and Salah around the 70 and that, if they can. So I would expect them to start strong and try to get ahead and pull them off rather than try and bring them on for impact off the bench, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in your shoes, Kev, I would certainly be playing Mane ahead of Zaha. But bringing it back to this particular game week, you've gone with Son as captain. Do you want to tell us, the audience, as to why you went with Son? Oh, sorry, Kev. Firmino's he's done it again. Firmino's scored. Albeit it's the 98th minute, but Firmino has finally broken the deadlock, and he's done it again. He obviously got the winner the other day. I don't know for fact, but it's potentially a Mane assist. I don't know, but certainly Firmino has definitely scored. And I'd like to think that Liverpool are going to finally come through this game. Which links me into something just quickly, which is the fact you were just talking about Liverpool and everything. A lot of their games are very tight, though. A lot of them ending 2-1. You know, so... And it was a Mane assist. They're not blowing teams away. So, yeah, I'd edge caution. But, yeah, sorry, we've completely lost track. So, Son captaincy. Tell us why you went with him.
Well, it was really just between him, Ali, and Rashford. Really, and I think people are quite clever to captain Vardy, because looking at how much pace he had on the centre backs for City, you know, it was quite a logical choice. But I just think Son's in great form. You know, he's returning monster hauls. Like he's got 3 double-digit hauls in the last 5 games. So. Why not this week against Chelsea, who can't keep a clean sheet for love nor money? Like everyone's expecting, maybe a 3-1, a 3-0. Like everyone's expecting Spurs to score, and if Spurs are going to score, you'd like to think Son's going to have a part to play in.
Well, we all thought that regarding the Everton-Arsenal game. Obviously, it ended 0-0 incredibly. I already mentioned this, but 2 teams that, for the life of them, couldn't keep a clean sheet, and all of a sudden today they kept a clean sheet. I'll ask you, Kev, your thoughts on Arteta joining Arsenal as their manager and Ancelotti becoming the Everton manager?
Yeah, I think the Toffee fans have got to be the happier. But if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be that gutted. You know, like you have got Pep's number 2. You know what I mean? Like he's learned from literally the best. He's young. You know, he's a quality player. I heard you talking on the last stream about, you know, the options of would it be better to have an English or a British manager, etc. But like they've, you know, whatever they've done with Emery didn't work. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to wait and see. I do think Everton are going to shore up the defence though, and that's why I'm looking at Holgate in for Tomori. Everton have got pretty good fixtures, and I just think they will really build up from the back. And Holgate's I think 4.4, so he's pretty cheap. He's starting in that Everton lineup. Obviously, they got their first clean sheet. Well, a clean sheet today against Arsenal. So I'm not looking at Arsenal players any more than I was previously, but I am more interested in Everton now. I think they might have the better of the new manager bounce.
Yeah, they've got Burnley at home, Newcastle away, Man City away, and then they've got a set of green fixtures of Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Watford, and maybe you are right, maybe looking at Everton's defence. Your thoughts, James, on the Ancelotti and Arteta appointment?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. You'd think it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Arteta's a bit of a legend in Everton. And you'd expect the big manager to go down to Arsenal. So I was quite surprised. But it's, you know, good for Everton fans. I think they'll be over the moon. And Arsenal fans, I think, will be mixed. Some will be underwhelmed, and some are along the thoughts that this could be the new Wenger, a long-term manager. We'll see how it goes.
Do you think that, like Kev's just mentioned regarding Everton defenders, but will you be looking into Everton players at all?
I've already done that, actually. And I'm looking at Dean after Gameweek 21, where they've got the Sea of Green. Brighton at home, West Ham away, Newcastle home, Watford away, Crystal Palace at home. So that's a nice stretch of 5 there for Everton defenders. And Deeney is dropped to 5.7. So definitely I'll be looking around Everton assets.
Although at the moment it's saying that he's got a groin injury, I don't know how serious that is. You'd like to think that maybe potentially he could be back for, let's just say, Newcastle, Man City. Maybe he misses out the next 3 fixtures and then he's back on the 11th against, like you've just mentioned, Brighton. They're certainly worth looking at. I mean, obviously, Show Me the Mane had Richarlison in his free hit and everything. What about Richarlison, James?
He's such a troll, isn't he? I brought him in for that game week against Norwich and blanked. Then he went on that magical run, and he became a quite hot asset and a big topic amongst all the podcasts this week. And he blanked, so I'm done with him for the season. But maybe Calvert-Lewin or Keane, depending on who Ancelotti chooses. You know, he tends to manage big European clubs, and Moise Keane was at Juventus. It could be his type of player.
David Hackinson took a -16, and so far it's failed massively. Kev, you're in a mini league where we've got, well, the Cashman League this is, where we've got players like Jason, Boona, Charlie, who's 3rd as of last week, taking hits galore. What are your thoughts on hits in general?
In general, I don't mind the -4s. I think it's easier to break down a 2-player switch, you know, and commit to it and be confident. But I've only ever, honestly, in 3 seasons, I've only ever pulled a anything as high as a -12, and it went wrong, and I'll never forget it. And it cost us big, you know, I dropped. So I'm probably a bit fearful of big hits, but small hits like Charlie's doing. Like I look up to Charlie, you know, like how you broke it down, how he's looking for the player with the best fixture, and he's just moving like that. And if it's a -4, he needs to do to get the 2 players in with really good fixtures, he just goes for it. So But I did Grealish in for Pulisic this week early, and I knew I wanted to do it. Was done, bang, after the Chelsea game. And the other one I weighed up was Richarlison in for Mane. So I'm so glad I didn't. So I think it just depends, Steve-O. It's obviously luck. A lot of it's luck, but you are rolling the dice more often than not if you're taking many hits. But like Charlie's proved, if you get the majority of them right, you can soar to the upper echelons of the league. So, or you can do what I do and just keep plummeting. So I suppose it's a little bit of luck and then, making good choices.
I've got David Hackinson's team up on, well, not now as of yet, but I've certainly got his transfers up on screen. So for a -16, he got rid of Target Ali, Alexander-Arnold, Mane, Maddison, and brought in Richarlison, Sterling, Aurier, De Bruyne, and Kelly. I know it's a lot to take in. Your immediate thoughts on this? I'll bring it up on screen for people to see his team in full. At the moment he's on 28 points, so 12 points overall. Your immediate thoughts on that? He's captain Rashford as well. Kev?
Sorry, you broke up there at the end. Who did he captain, Steve-O?
He captained Rashford. Kev?
Sorry, you're breaking up, Steve-O. Who did he captain? I heard all the transfers. Who did he captain?
He captained Rashford.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard that he brought in... Did he bring in Kelly? He brought in Kelly, who's blank. Did he get rid of Maddison, or did he bring in Maddison?
He brought in Maddison. He got rid, sorry.
He got rid, so it sounds like it's probably borderline at the minute, doesn't it? He's obviously got rid of his Liverpool players and stuff, but he got rid of Dele Alli, did you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it's always like the history that you bring up, and he's who I'm expecting to be one of my top players this week with his history against Chelsea at home, the Mourinho factor, everything. So, yeah, a bit questionable, but I can't talk anything in my position. But I wouldn't be getting rid of Dele Alli this week, that's for sure.
You used your triple captain in back God knows when. I did have it a second ago, but I've lost it now. But it doesn't matter. You've already used your triple captaincy chip. FPL Boona used the triple captaincy chip last week. What did you think when he used it?
Oh, ballsy. One of my mates in my personal league who I've got a side bet one, triple captain Salah as well. So big props to them. They've seen it. They've seen that he was coming into form, and when Salah's in form, you captain him. So why not triple captain him? So fair play. A lot of us used it early on Aguero when they played Norwich away, when Norwich were down to the bare bones, if you can remember, and he got a goal, but it was just a 6-pointer. So I do wish I'd held on to it. It was another rash decision, but like I say, I've always flopped the triple captainship in the past 2 seasons, so it's still an improvement on last year. But looking at some of the fixtures coming up, I'd love to still have it.
Yeah, James, what chips have you got left?
I've got the triple captain and the bench boost left.
Oh, so when did you use your free hit?
Quite early on when I had an injury crisis, and it paid off. I think I got 81 or 80. No, I got 83 points that week. Wow. And the average was around 50. So.
Wow. Okay. Are you averse to using? Well, obviously you use this in emergency situation, but are you somebody that likes to play a chip in a single game week, or is it more the fact that you want to play him in double game weeks?
I'm targeting the Liverpool double game week.
The problem that me and Jason always keep banging on about is the fact that when it comes to double game weeks, especially when it's only like, in this case, a single double game week, in the sense of we've only got 2 teams to choose from, in this case West Ham and Liverpool, the majority of people will be triple captaining, you probably think, either Salah or Mane. Do you not think it's a bit of a waste when in reality you're only going to be having those extra, say, whatever amount of points it is on top from the most popular captain pick?
I think it's probably worth to be patient with it, because I do see a lot of managers using it early. So hopefully it'll be a bit of a differential, because a lot of people have used their triple captains already. So there won't be as many as we think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. For me, I'm seriously thinking of doing what I did last year. Admittedly, it completely failed, but I'm seriously thinking of using the triple captaincy on the final day of the season again. I'm thinking of, you know what, or putting it on a single game week when a player has got a very good favourable fixture, i.e. Salah versus Watford, as an example. Kev, back to you. So, for people listening on audio, we had Everton 0, Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 1, Southampton 3, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1, Brighton 0, Sheffield United 1, Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 0, Norwich 1, Wolves 2, and Man City 3, Leicester 1. Kev, of all those results, does any game stick out for you where you think, blimey, for me personally, it's got to be Southampton winning 3-1?
Looking at the minute. Yeah, definitely. I picked Everton and Arsenal to be a draw, and I tipped Aston Villa to win that one. So and every time Ings scores, Steve-O, it's destroying us, because I sat there with Aguero injured, you know, and I deliberated. It was Jimenez, it was Ings, Jimenez, Ings. I broke it down, looked at the fixtures, looked at the stats, and I said, right, I never had Jimenez last year, and it hurt us even though I did well. That's the choice. And then every week, Ings just keeps popping up with a goal or a brace like this week. So yeah, you can't argue with that, especially after that the 9-0 drumming from Leicester. You know, they've done amazing to kind of pull it round somewhat. So yeah, that's definitely the standout result for sure.
Yeah, we were talking, me and James, earlier about Danny Ings, bringing him in, but unfortunately he's got really bad fixtures. But do you think that actually Ings is fixture proof?
Nah, not with them fixtures. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but you could have got on him and cut your losses after, you know, he scored a couple of games in a row in this run. But at this point, I know we keep saying it's going to end, but he can't score in every game coming through them fixtures. Southampton will fall apart at some stage. They can't keep it up. So no, I'm praying, because who's he got? Chelsea away, Palace at home, Tottenham at home, Leicester, Wolves, Palace, Liverpool. Nah, I think if anything, game week 23, depending on how you want to structure your team and stuff, to bring him.
Well, here's a question. I'll ask you first, James. If you own Danny Ings, based on his fixtures, do you sell or do you keep?
Personally, I'm not an Ings owner, but if I was, I would sell for those tough fixtures and then bring him back. Try and find someone with an easier run for those 5-6 weeks.
Kev, what would you do if you had Ings? Would you keep or sell?
I'd probably hold him. You've got to have some value in him, no matter when you brought him in. And you look at it, Chelsea away. Now I'm looking from a perspective, if I had him, Chelsea away isn't that bad. Palace at home, Tottenham at home, Leicester away. You know, they're not actually looking that solid. If I had him, I think I'd keep him, but I'm not willing to get caught out on another Pulisic, Steve-O, where I'm jumping on too late. I think that's how a lot of people probably feel that haven't got him. That we're going to bring him in and we're going to break him.
Do you remember our good friend JK, Steve-O?
Yes.
Who had the wild card?
Go for it. Remind everybody.
He's, I believe, around 1,000 in the world, and on last week's show, he was talking about what to do with his wild card. And so, I think you and Jason even advised him maybe to burn it and not use it. He has done it, used it, and done quite a few transfers. And one of them was future planning without Ings, and he's regretted it already.
Oh no!
Wow! Is he speaking in the Discord now, by any chance? in the sense of literal typing. I mean, it'd be fascinating to get him because, like you said, I think it was 4,000th he was in the world. He was doing exceptionally well. And you're saying that he's already regretted getting rid of Ings?
Yeah, he also got rid of another player. I can't remember the second one, but they scored as well, and he brought in someone else who blanked. So at least 2 players have not gone to plan by using that wild card, which you guys cautioned against.
Do you remember last year when I don't know if you would or not know, but when Davey FPL, he was doing so well in the world that he just decided just to burn he just had to use his wild card for the sake of using it. Do you think that it may have been wise for JK to maybe just not use it, or just use it for the sake of using it rather than just changing the whole team? James?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's hindsight, but it's such a hard thing to just burn and let go. But it's definitely not done him a lot of good.
Yeah. How would you feel, Kev, if you were doing, like, let's just say if you were in JK's position and you were like 4,000th in the world, you're doing really, really well, you had a wild card and everything. How would you go about this situation? Because obviously the temptation is hit the wild card, change everything in your team. But like Davey FPL did last year, he basically just used it to make 2 transfers.
Yeah, I'd probably lean more to that. The old phrase, "Don't try and fix what's not broken," would spring to mind. There's always a bit of housekeeping you can do in any team, though, isn't there?
Here we go. I've actually looked through his chat history. The second one he got rid of was Cantwell, who scored today. But then he said that he was never going to play him.
At home to Wolves, though, I would have played any Norwich asset I had this week. He's on for 3 bonus points as well, isn't he? Or is that just not updated yet? It seems a bit strange, him being on for 3 bonus points in a 2-1 defeat.
Well, let's just quickly check, and the simple answer is, I believe, yes. Well, that's as it stands right now. Yeah, Cantwell is on for 3 bonus points.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's strange because I believe Vardy, he was... in chat, we're banging on
and
about
still
it.
is. He's still on 3.
How?
I this season, from a bonus point perspective, price rise and drop perspective, has been very, very strange this year indeed. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, he was out for God knows how long. He lost about God knows how many sellers. I think it was like over 1 million. He didn't even drop in price, and yet he got himself back about 70,000 and went up by 0.1. The bonus point systems, various things like today is just a simple example of players on the losing team getting 3 bonus points. It's just ludicrous and
bizarre.
The only thing I can think, Steve, was he did create like 2 big chances for Harvey Barnes. The first one he whipped in. There was too much pace on it, but it was technically a tap in within the 6-yard box, and then he did exactly the same in the second half. He whipped the ball in from the right, and Barnes should have slotted that away with ease. So I don't know how creating big chances, as they call them, compared to all the other bonus point structure, but he did create 2 open goals, 2 big chances and score. So maybe in that, but what City were like, everyone was in it. Do you know what I mean? To be honest, I don't know how Mahrez isn't above everyone, because he was on fire.
Just doesn't get played. He doesn't get played. He's if I just bring up Mahrez right now, his minutes for City are very, very limited. He plays in the Champions League a lot, but when it comes to the Premier League, we're talking as of late, since Gameweek 13. Played 90 minutes versus Chelsea, got 10 points, and then it's just been 68, 18, 25, 20, and then 90. He seems to be being chosen for the top 6 fixtures only. That's what it appears to be, anyway, based on the last several fixtures and stuff. Maybe Pep just only trusts him in the big games, and I don't know.
Range.
But I certainly agree with you that Mahrez, if he was a consistent player for Man City, I remember, I think it was last week. It was last week for Arsenal. I said that I was thinking of bringing in Bernardo Silva or David Silva or even Mahrez for the Arsenal game. I didn't do it in the end. Thankfully, none of them would have paid off. But again, we talked about it before. Man City is just quite literally a roulette. I'm going to wrap it up there, lads. Really appreciate you both coming on. It's the usual thing, as I always say. Kev, have you got any final thoughts before we finish it?
Good to chat to you. It's been like you say, anyone having a shocker week, like I'd advise just taking a step back. Disable the apps on your phone, the Twitter, just for a few days at least, and to give your head a chance to cool down and not overthink things, and at least come back fresh. You know what I mean? You can't change the past week's gone, but give yourself a bit of a break from beating yourself up. But looking forward to the rest of the game, Steve-O, and catch you up over the Christmas period.
Yeah, absolutely. Statman, I will. Well, in fact, are you available to be, like you were the other day, one of our correspondents at one of the games for Boxing Day, or is that not possible?
No, mate, I didn't want to rub it in everyone's faces, but I'm going on like an exotic island holiday for 10 days on Boxing Day. So while you are sitting in the freezing cold, I'm going to be it'll be a white Christmas, but it'll be a white sand Christmas for the Statman FC family. So I wish I could, mate, but the missus will kill us if I cancel a holiday to jump on the stream. But
where specifically are you going?
Rarotonga. It's the main island in the Cook Islands.
That's gone over my head.
Little islands, mate. It's just like a little Pacific island. Just there's not much there. Just we've got to rent a house on the beach there.
Wow.
Just let the kid run around on the beach for 10 days and nights. So and also I'm not going to have Wi-Fi, Steve. So I'm not going to lie. I'm bricking it. I'm bricking that I'm going to have to pest the neighbours and stuff to use the Wi-Fi so I can change my team, because you can't get you can't get any data in that. So it's going to be testing, and I'm just going to have to hope that I can edit my team where needs be, or watch out for Statman hitting the bottom of the cash league.
All you've got to do is set Vardy as your captain, and you'll be doing all right. There we are. Kev, have a good time, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Cheers, dude. There's Kev there, aka Statman. James, again, final thoughts for you about this, about anything really, this game week, whatever, before we go?
It's a very low scoring game week. So 9 out of 12 players have been played on average, and the average right now stands at 33 points with auto subs, and amongst the top 10k it's 41.
Wow, amazing. James, were you one of our correspondents on Boxing Day? I can't even remember. Not Boxing Day, the other week. I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was Wiz and I.
Of
we
course.
were the first ever correspondents, yeah.
That's right, yeah. And you never know, we may have you on Boxing Day. Who knows? We are going to be doing, for everybody listening, we will be doing a Boxing Day stream covering the, is it 6 games?
Love to be there.
In fact, let's just quickly bring it up now. I can't even remember how many games are being played at 3 o'clock. Let's just quickly bring it up here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games at 3 o'clock. So yes, we are going to be having 6 different correspondents per match, covering Aston Villa versus Norwich, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Chelsea, Southampton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Everton, Burnley, Sheffield United, Watford. And it is going to be done thanks to Amazon Prime. It's a free trial at the moment. A lot of you I know have taken advantage of this. And come and join us on Boxing Day for that extravaganza. It will be a lot of fun, like it was at the beginning of December the other few weeks ago. So, yes, James, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve-O. It's been a pleasure. A lot of fun.
Cheers, dude. Care. Take it easy. Bye. There we are. There's James Bang and Statman there joining us live, giving their thoughts and opinions on all things fantasy football this game week. I've seen quite a few people. I've seen a few people talking about Burnley Defenders. The simple answer is that if we're playing essentially our relegation rivals, jump on us. If we're not, avoid us like the plague. So I'm just going to quickly bring up our fixtures right now, and I'll be able to tell you if it's worth holding on to. The answer is no. Everton away, we're going to lose that. Man United at home, always a tight game, but we're going to lose that. Aston Villa at home, probable clean sheet, and then it's Chelsea, Leicester, Man U, Arsenal. Basically, we'll be lucky to get one clean sheet out of the next 6-7 fixtures. So let's just leave it there, shall we? We'll just quickly look at my points again, just before we get off. As it stands right now, 26 points. I've still got Vertonghen, Ali, Son captain, and Rashford still to play. I've got Vardy coming off the bench. So that's what... 32 points as it stands right now. Full time. Sorry, just to interject myself. Full time, Liverpool have won the World Club Cup. So congratulations to Liverpool. They've won it there. Robertson is not looking happy at the moment. I have no idea why. He's having a go at some Flamengo player. But yes, after extra time, Firmino with the only goal of the game there in a 1-0 victory. Mane with the assist, if anybody's interested who got the assist. But yeah, Liverpool have won 1-0 there. And how will that affect them against Leicester on Boxing Day? Again, I repeat. So on Thursday, myself and Jason will be covering, along with 6 other correspondents, the Aston Villa, Norwich, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Chelsea, Southampton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Everton, Burnley, Sheffield United, Watford games. Join us then, but more importantly, join us on Monday evening, where Jason, special guest host Daily Llama, you all know who Daily Llama is, one of our regular contributors. And more than likely I'm going to be here as well. We are going to be, well, them two are going to be drawing the players for the Elite FPL Champions League that Daily Llama has set up. There is a total of 96 players. I think we're drawing all of them at the same time. I can't remember specifically now, but all will be revealed on Monday evening. We will let you know when we are going live. I think it'll be roughly, 7 o'clock in the evening. I really don't know. Also, tomorrow evening at some point, I have no idea again what time. Again, keep posted on Twitter and Discord. But I reckon it'll be about 6ish, where me and Jason will be doing the Sunday surgery. So you'll be able to join me and Jason live tomorrow evening. We will keep you posted specifically what time we are going live. Other than that, that's the admin done. If you've enjoyed this video, it's the usual thing of just the easiest way to support the show is by just simply hitting the like button. If you're brand new around here, enjoy the content me and Jason produce and haven't subscribed, here we are, Mr. Reed, if you're still here. We are pretty much a daily streaming show, and just to repeat the news that I broke last night, essentially due to work commitments and the fact that my working day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning, which means that I have to wake up at sometimes 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Me doing evening streams, so the 8:30 streams, it will be coming to almost an end. Not literally, please do not quote me on any of that, but I won't be streaming as regular on an evening as I'd like to, unfortunately, due to work commitments. But what it does mean, though, is that streams like this, streams like yesterday where I had Dan on, streams during the week where I do impromptu ones, will be happening more on a regular basis. Like I said, I think there's, as we all say, this is crunch end of the season. I enjoy doing this. I know you lot enjoy. I know you lot enjoy what me and Jason do, and I love the fact that basically we are back on YouTube and we're able to do all this again on a more regular basis. And yeah, so we are virtually a daily FPL show, as you saw with, or as you listened to with Kev and James. You can come live on air. The Discord, link is down below. If you want to be part of that, it's a huge growing community that everybody that is part of. It's the easiest way to get, it is the only way to get live on air. Just jump in the waiting room and me and Jason will happily take your call, talking all things fantasy football. But more importantly, as I always say, it's more fun talking about the real life football, getting your thoughts and opinions on what's going on. Follow us on Twitter, it's at Elite FPL, Instagram at Elite FPL. Other than that, enjoy your evening, everybody, is what I can say. Enjoy your evening. I'm looking forward to going to bed, basically, and we will see, me and Jason will see, hopefully Jason will be available. If not, it'll be me again doing a solo stream, but we will see you tomorrow at some point, so stay tuned on Twitter for that. That's at Elite FPL and Discord. So cheers guys, take it easy and have a good evening.